Here again with another Breaking Bad Season 2 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important. If you are caught up to the point where I am at rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, I've seen this show many times. So join me on the journey of watching or rewatching this show, and let's discuss it down in the comment section. This will be Breaking Bad Season 2, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Mandala, I think, or Mandala. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So Combo's looking to sell. A couple of guys pull up to Combo in their car, but they just kind of glare at him and don't buy anything. And Combo, like, what do you got? And then like shows him his, he's packing and calls them punk bitches. A kid on a bike comes up to Combo. He calls Skinny Pete, or Skinny, and leaves a message about potentially needing backup. Get your ass up here now, as that car is kind of mean mugging him. The people in the car are watching him. And then the kid on the bike shoots Combo a bunch of times, and Combo falls to the street and dies. Aw, man. Such a good character, gone too soon. I wish we would have got more time with Combo, and we actually do get one more episode in Breaking Bad with him, but we should have got a whole more season with Combo. Walter and Skyler have a visit with Walt's doctor. If Walt's willing to take some risks, this may be his best chance. It's going to cost a lot, and Walt says he'll do it. Walt tells Skyler he thinks it's the way to go. The doctor will book the surgery 4 weeks from now, 2 weeks after Holly is supposed to be born. And initially they wanted to book it for Friday the 13th, and they decided not to do it for that day. Walt calls Jesse. He's told that Combo's dead and he's been shot, and Walt asks which one is he out of, Combo, Badger, and Skinny, and Jesse hangs up. Now Skinny Pete is at Jesse's, and he's thinking about jumping ship with Combo gone. Also, people now know Jesse didn't kill Spooge with the ATM. His whatever she was to him, wife, girlfriend, she said no, he didn't do that. And Jesse says, well, we'll make it. And Skinny says, I'm sorry, Jesse, I'm out. Jesse and Walt go to Saul about the setback, telling him about Combo's turf dispute. And Saul asks Walt about his health situation. And Walt says he may have more time than he thought. Walt tells Saul we need muscle, we need enforcements. This process has always been 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Saul says, you two suck at dealing meth. Saul says you two need an honest to God businessman. Saul knows a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy. Let me make some calls and see if I can get you a meeting. Saul tells Walt he knows what he knows about him. From what he knows about him, the guy that he's talking about sounds a little like you to Walt. Jesse tells Jane he needs her to leave. There's some stuff about me you don't know. Jane knows he's a drug dealer. You pay in cash, and then he tells her about Combo dying, and he blames himself because he put him on that corner. He tells Jane he's going to do some crystal, and she should go because she's in the program and recovery and all that. And Jane says you could come to a meeting with me, and Jesse tells her he needs her to go. And Jane's about to walk and leave out the door, but goes to Jesse's room because he went to his room. Walt goes to Los Porros Hermanos. He's there to have a meeting with a smart businessman like himself, and Jesse arrives late. And Jesse asks, where's the kingpin? Your guess is as good as mine. The manager comes over and asks if everything is to their satisfaction, and they kind of nod like, yeah. And then Walt tells Jesse things have changed. Jesse doesn't like the idea of Walt wanting to make more meth after he was going to be done and gone. And Skylar's going to have a C-section. They scheduled a date. Jane's out. She's out of it. She ended up partying with Jesse and ended her sobriety. And Jane wakes up to wanting to smoke some more crystal. Poor Jane. It's Ted Beneke's birthday. Time to blow out the candles. So Skylar, he makes Skylar imitate Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" for Ted Beneke. Walt calls Saul Goodman and said Saul tells him that his contact said it's a no-go. And Walt says to call him back. Saul says with this particular individual, you get one shot. And Walt goes back to Los Porros Hermanos. He hangs out there all day. The manager, or what we think is the manager, is wiping down tables. And then Walt goes to refill his Diet Coke and asks the manager, or at least who we think is the manager, for a refill and 5 minutes of your time. And then he tells the man to have a seat. And Walt asks him why he wouldn't meet with him yesterday. And this guy's like, I think you're confusing me with someone else. And Walt says he was told that the person he's there to see was a cautious man. And the manager says, I don't think we're at all like Mr. White. So, yes, he's talking to the man that he was supposed to meet. Your partner was late, and he was high. And he says that Walt has poor judgment. And Walt talks about the product. I have the best, the most purest crystal meth. You won't see my partner. You won't interact with him. I'll interact with him. And Gus, that's the guy's name, Gustavo Fring Gus, asks why. He does what I say. I can trust him. I have 38 pounds. I think he says 38 pounds ready to go at a moment's notice. Skylar goes over the books with Ted Beneke. They aren't very accurate. Lots of instances of revenues being underreported. And Ted says the money's coming in eventually. Skylar actually found his Xerox copies with dates changed. So Ted is up to something, and he says, you got me. What Ted's doing could easily land him in prison. Ted says he couldn't let a couple things make everything fall apart because of a couple bad years. And Skylar says she can't be a part of it. And Ted says he's sorry. Skinny calls Jesse to say he missed him at the funeral today. Talks about all the people that were there at Combo's funeral. Badger even came from California. So apparently Badger went to California, and we weren't even told that. Or maybe they mentioned it quickly and I just missed it after, 9 times watching this show at least. And Skinny says, watch your back out there. Jane arrives with some heroin. Jane sticks Jesse's arm with a needle of heroin. Jesse is instantly on a high, and then Jane puts the needle in her ankle and is immediately high. Test day for Walt's chemistry class, and Walt's other cell phone that he puts above the ceiling tile is vibrating, and everybody's looking at it. Initially, Walt said no cell phones, and everybody looks at the ceiling, and he's like, faulty pipes, as a way, to kind of cover it up. And then after class, Walt checks his phone, and it says, Porros. So Walt goes to Los Porros Hermanos, and he asks the person there where the manager is, and she's like, I'm the manager. And he finds out that Gustavo Fring Gus is the owner of 14 different locations. He's not around, and he could be at any one of them. Victor stops Walt on his way out and gives him instructions, and only gives him 1 hour to get the product there. So Walt calls Jesse, leaves a message, I need the product. I need the product now. Skylar starts to have pain at Beneke Fabrications. Walt goes to Jesse's place, bangs on the door. Jesse! 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 And then Walt he actually puts a hole in the back door with this statue that they use for, I think, the cigarette butts. And Jesse and Jane are passed out because they did heroin, so they're on a big high. And Walt keeps telling Jesse to wake up, and then Jesse's kind of somewhat coherent. And Walt's like, "Where's the product?" And Jesse says, "Under the sink." And then Walt leaves him be and goes to bag up all the bags of crystal meth. or the blue meth, and then Walt gets a message from Skylar, "Baby coming," as she had called him before and he ignored it. "Not now," Walt says, and then Walt takes the garbage bag full of his blue meth and leaves Jesse's place, ending the episode. So, pretty good episode of Breaking Bad. I'm going to score this one an 8.6 out of 10. And our characters of the episode, for the males, it's got to be Walter White, because Walt is like the character of every episode almost. And then for the females, not a lot to choose from here. We got Jane, we got Skylar, and we got people from Ted Benecke's office that were females. So I'm going to give it to Skylar. And again, poor Jane. She was doing so good, and then made one mistake that is going to lead to her demise. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or El Camino, or Breaking Bad movie, hopefully you're a fan of all three of them. Make sure that you Hulk smash the like button. Share this video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are. What would you rate the episode? And whom would be your character or characters, if you want to do both the male and female, of the episode. And click right here. I'll put my Better Call Saul series finale review right there, and I'll be doing all the Better Call Saul episodes after I finish Breaking Bad. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a person special, and JDev will return.